Hello everybody, welcome back to Made at Midnight, and this is the start of CWL, May season, day 1, and I'm giving you some of the best attacks from our 4 clans. We have 2 in C1 and 2 in C2. Also we have a Demotion clan in C3. So if you take a look at this base, we have these channels around the Town Hall, and a lot of defenses on the outside, so this base is perfect to AQ charge. The only thing preventing our AQ charge is the monolith. Our AQ can only reach past the wall 4 tiles, so we're going to go ahead, use the giant arrow, some EQs, 2 EQs, and 3 lightning to take out the monolith and set up this nice little AQ charge. So now with the monolith out of the road, we're able to start our AQ charge. Nice little easy AQ charge, not really too many defenses to prevent her. And we're going to use ice golems to stall up the defenses so we don't have to use spells, conserving as many spells as we can. And notice this is a symmetrical base, so it didn't matter which direction the AQ would have pathed. So I just waited to see which direction she went, and she went to the south. So then I put Yeti down at 6 to create a funnel, because I want to break into this Inferno compartment to the left of the AQ, and then use the BK EQ boots to open up the walls to access the Town Hall, and then send the RC at about 7:30 in at that multi-archer tower and Expo to keep the BK and the AQ in the core. Alright, so test loon, Warden, everything, and you'll notice the AQ's got nearly twice as many hit points as the Warden, so AQ can take more damage than the Warden can. And on the Warden, I'm running Eternal Tome in case the AQ encounters too much damage or there's a red air mine farm, or a red air bomb farm. So if you see the red air bombs popping out, feel free to use the Eternal Tome. So I use the Eternal Tome to save the AQ from the Fire Spitter and the incoming damage, and now the red air bombs come up and destroy all the healers. And if the air bombs didn't destroy the healers, this Fire Spitter would have. Fire Spitters are the most dangerous defense in this strat, because they will absolutely peel off all of your healers. They have an incredible reach, and we really don't have much of an army to stay out in front and create different directions for the Fire Spitter to target, because they will lock on to your AQ and the healers that are pretty close behind your AQ. So now using the RC Rocket Spear, and I have the Rocket Spear equipped in this army because you can outrange ricochet cannons, so just keep an eye out when you see a ricochet cannon or a multi-archer tower or inferno tower, and then pop the Rocket Spear ability. Then you don't even have to use any ice golems. And if you have 7 spells left over, you can create a full smiley face, 2 eyes, 1 nose, 4 for the mouth, or more if you have more. Here's headshots at the main clan, C1 CWL, taking out some of these primary defenses to get maximum value with this Flame Flinger, mortar specifically, and testing for traps with the Hog. Also testing for some traps down here at about 4:30, right next to the Ricochet and multi-archer tower, so Troll Tesla doesn't ruin his fireball. Takes out that entire section. Now his Warden is going to path up. He's got the Angry Jelly, letting the Warden target defenses for the first 35 seconds. Got some archers to clean up behind him. And he's working his Warden up towards 3 and cutting off the pathing of the Warden with the Flame Flinger at 12. So then the Warden will have to turn left into the Town Hall and take the Town Hall out. Letting the Warden work. Wizard to take out this gold storage. Baby Drag for a little extra funneling. Now BK to take out some of those trash buildings, extra funneling as well. Ice Golem in to help stall up some of these defenses for the BK and the enemy heroes and the enemy CC. Ice Golems work both ways. Dealing with the CC, dealing with the BK. Warden still going strong, dealing with this Minion Prince. And what makes this strat so difficult is the multitasking. It's pretty easy to lose your Warden. Warden has a little over half the hit points that an AQ does, and he can drop a lot quicker than an AQ. So you have to invest spells on him more so than you would an AQ charge. Sending in some rocket loons to direct target this monolith and stay out in front of the Warden to protect him. Also notice this fire spitter. Fire spitters are absolutely dangerous for any sort of hero charge because they can reach your healers. Luckily, the angle of the Warden from the fire spitter shots are not hitting the healers. So he used the magic mirror with the healer puppet on the AQ, and he told me that he likes to have the healer puppet on the AQ since the AQ does not have any healers to start with. And now he drops an invisibility spell to try to direct target this multi-archer tower. And AQ is working up to towards the top. This base is completely wrecked. Doesn't have to use the RC. He is using Rocket Spear and Seeking Shield. So in case, yeah, let's see if he uses it. Working on the wall. Just didn't want to wait for that wall to open up. RC with the Seeking Shield finishes it off. Alright, so here we have Dez coming in with some Super Hogs. And yeah, he's going to create some really awesome pathing with these Super Hogs. He's taking out this channel here at 3, working the RC in. Nice little Spirit Walk. I'm always happy when I see a Fire Spitter go down because they are the worst defense in the game. They come out with a lot of these defenses that are supposed to nerf spam, but actually they just make it so that all you can use is spam. But that doesn't have to be the case. Alright, so here he comes in with the Yeti, creating some excellent pathing. And I like the use of the 2 Valks, because the Yeti is a little slow. So it's nice to have the Valks come in and help clean up the trash behind the Yeti while the Yeti's tanking. Now he's coming in with the log launcher, opening up these walls towards this middle section. And he's going to absolutely just destroy the core of this base to create some really nice narrow channels for his Super Hogs to path in. Walls opened up. Notice he used that EQ to soften up the walls. BK's got Snake Bracelet on, tanking for this, which is actually really cool because the Snake Bracelet is actually distracting for his AQ. He's got the Giant coming out, also distracting for the AQ, and this entire base is just absolutely destroyed. Like right now you can just tell with that pathing, that opening, really nice use of those hero equipments. AQ reaching over, taking out the monolith, freezes up the monolith. Oh, the AQ, is the AQ actually going to get the Town Hall? He's got a poison spell tower. Yeah, AQ took out the Town Hall and the monolith. He went all the way from the opposite side to get that. Drops the heal spell. His Hogs are pretty much full health already. Must be anticipating some bombs. Really, the Minion Prince was the only defenses left. His AQ just finally died, and now he drops another heal spell. I don't even think he would have needed to use both heal spells, but this is CWL, so it's nice to play it safe. So awesome hit to Dez. That was really cool. Encounters the tornado trap at the right moment when there's no defenses targeting. Finishes off this ricochet cannon. Yeah, he had Hog Puppet. I'm not sure which is the best equipment for the strat. I've seen people use it with Hog Puppet or Rocket Spear. I think personally Rocket Spear would be my favorite, and then just pick when you are about to encounter a ricochet or multi-archer tower to deploy it. Alright, so here we have Sam X, and Sam went perfect in CWL with Super Witches. So yeah, it's going to be fun watching his hits. Super Witches still very strong. Alright, let's see which direction he's coming in at. Alright, so he's starting Warden, Angry Jelly, and he's going to go for an immediate fireball. I'm kind of surprised he had the Angry Jelly on the Warden for that fireball, just because you notice that the Warden stepped in. With an immediate fireball, a lot of times you don't want to use an Angry Jelly because the Warden will walk too far into the building, or into the defensive buildings, but now look at this. He's got these super miners coming out, and he has no way to deal with them because he doesn't have an invisibility spell. He could have, yeah, Warden goes down immediately. I don't know if he froze one up, but I think there was nothing that he could do, because if he froze up the super miner, it still would have exploded from the Warden destroying it. So yeah, that was very unlucky. How often do you run into super miners? So it just goes to show you the kinds of CCs you might encounter at C1 CWL. Uses his AQ at 3. Early ability. Got the Giant out in front tanking for the AQ. He's also got a Furnace behind the AQ, helping clear some trash. And now the only place in is directly towards the Town Hall. And he was actually able, he created such good pathing that he was able to just let his BK beat through the wall. That was really impressive. That's hard to do. I've done some attacks when you don't have super wall breakers, and trying to get into the right wall is absolutely infuriating. So awesome job being able to create that pathing. Takes out the Town Hall. Now he's got all his super witches into the core. So now everything can distract for his RC wherever he deploys his RC. RC comes in, taking out these Teslas and benefiting from all his troops tanking for her, distracting, getting the most synergy possible. Always you want to get synergy. He doesn't want to send his RC from the opposite side where there is no tanking. So now he's got his Spirit Fox in the RC. Spirit Fox goes invisible, lets the defenses retarget onto the troops instead of the RC. You want to keep your RC alive. RC is the most strong. Throws down the rocket spear. He's a bit too close to this ricochet cannon, but now he can outrange the multi-archer tower. And awesome hit to Sam. No Warden Rage Vial supporting his troops the entire raid. And Super Witches can be a slow strat, so really nice to get this triple, not time fail. So yeah, watch out for those Super Miner CCs. Really fun to see this recovery. Alright, so now we have loading, and he's coming in with some Root Riders. He's also got a Golem and 1 Ice Golem. So interested to see how he plays this. Doing the Spirit Walk down here at 6, creating this funnel. And it's always interesting to see if, when doing the Spirit Walk, if the Spirit Fox can be kept alive, because that is the hardest part about doing a Spirit Walk. Got the Hog Puppet, Snake Bracelet on the BK, Giant Magic Mirror, and standard equipment on the Warden. Comes up towards this Monolith, and he only had 4 invisibility spells. Usually when I see 4 invisibility spells, it's with the Haste Vial. But he was able to take all that out with just 3 invisibility spells, so excellent base recognition. Now he's got this Ice Golem in front of his Root Riders, and he's using the big Golem out in front of his AQ. And he's also got this Skeleton spell, because the danger of that Golem in front of that Ricochet Cannon is the Ricochet Cannon target the Golem and then skip its second shot into the AQ, and the second shot does more damage than the first. So very nice to distract that Ricochet Cannon and prevent his AQ from having to force ability. So now he's got his BK out in front, helping tank for the AQ, opening up this wall so that his AQ can step in and hopefully help with this Town Hall. Although all his Root Riders and Valks path perfectly towards the Town Hall, so he should just be able to rip right through it, rips right through it. Now takes out the last of one of the most annoying defenses in the game. It's like every update they try to destroy the AQ charge. Fire Spitter is really bad for AQ charge. Giga Inferno, very bad for AQ charge. Multi-Archer Towers, bad for AQ charge. So now his RC is working to the left, taking out the enemy hero. Overgrowth wears off. Time to deal with this Minion Prince. Back-end Minion Prince is really quite a scare with Root Riders, especially if your RC goes down or if your AQ goes down early. And that's why it's nice to save your AQ ability. He's able to use his AQ ability inside the base, and an excellent thing about the Giant is it opens up walls very quickly. So it's a really nice combination of equipments to use. Takes out the last building. Awesome hit to loading. Love the base recognition. And he was throwing Ice Golems in his troop launcher. Ice Golems are OP. They stall up everything. You know how much you hate them when you see them in the defensive CC? That's how much you love them when you're using them in your CC. So here we have the Accountant, and he's triggering that invisibility spell right away, and I selected this attack because it's kind of fun seeing this entire core get absolutely destroyed by this Yeti clone Blimp. He deploys his drags a lot like STXL does, all clumped up together right next to the AQ to take out the defenses in front of the AQ and keep the AQ alive and healthy as long as possible. Yeti's cloned in the center, in the core. He's got the tornado trap triggered, Yeti mites firing through, entire core is gone, and now it's just nice easy pathing. And what's really nice about having those dragons clumped up initially by the AQ is now he has all the dragons walking or flying with the AQ, so they can all tank for each other. Perfect synergy. You want as much synergy as you can possibly get in this game. So AQ is still alive and healthy, working on the outside and gonna deal with a lot of this trash. Really, only threat left is enemy Minion Prince, but he hasn't even used his Minion Prince ability yet. Finally uses it on the last remaining buildings. Didn't need it at all. Still has the Phoenix on the Minion Prince. Absolute overkill. Excellent base recognition. Awesome job to the accountant. So here we have Boomer doing the exact same attack. Only difference is he has the owl as the pet for the Warden instead of Sneezy. And the big difference with the owl versus Sneezy is the owl can actually be instrumental in taking out some enemy heroes. So if you're worried about your pathing and enemy heroes, the owl can actually help take out the heroes, whereas Sneezy really doesn't do too much damage, mainly for testing traps with the projectiles. So nice little alternatives that you can use depending on the base layout. Also, this is back-to-back appearances for Boomer in these recap videos, and we're almost 17 minutes into the video. I am 50-50 on whether he comments in Discord, whether he watches this far in. So, very excited to see how this plays out. So yeah, the great thing about Yeti clone Blimp is the Yetis and the Yeti mites just absolutely rip the core of the base and then create these nice narrow channels for the drags to go through. And they also create nice narrow channels for your AQ. And notice how his AQ is dead and the healers are down at 6. A trick that you can use is bring 2 archers and then put the archers on the exact same tile on a building on the outside, and it only takes 2 housing space to lure healers. So he could have dropped 2 archers on the left corner of the base and lured those healers through the rest of the base just to test for some traps. And he would have done that right when the dragons are about to approach the scatter shot, and the healers could have potentially distracted for the scatter shot and tested for traps. Also could have distracted for that air defense. So a nice little trick, and that is my gift to you, Boomer, if you watch this far into the base, or into the video. Thanks for watching. Alright, so finishing up this base, got this merged tower, the last thing remaining, and here's Ronnie with the Root Rider attack. I really like this attack because his pathing with his RC was so good he did not need to use an overgrowth. He's going to use base recognition to take out this 6 o'clock compartment and create perfect pathing for his RRs to go in from just below 3. Steps up, takes out this Expo. Now to deal with the Inferno Tower. Goes ahead and makes that Ice Golem invisible. Takes out that air defense, and now look at the defenses remaining on the right side. There is no defense right up the middle from 6. So now he has perfect pathing for his RRs to just push right through the base, right towards the Town Hall, and no need for an overgrowth to direct them where to go. Awesome base recognition, really love the plan. Root Rider's pushing in, healers down, some test loons, Valks RC redeployed. He's got this 1 fire spitter, but luckily the angle of where his troops go, his healers should be okay. Still got the test loons going strong. He also has Sneezy using the projectiles that act like loons. Almost act like loons. They do not stop black seeking air mines, but they will trigger red air bombs. So if you're doing Root Riders now, the thing that you want to use is the Sneezy on the Warden to test for these air mines, or the air bombs, the red air bombs, to keep your healers alive, and you also want to find a way to use the giant, because the giant is just absolutely insanely strong, and it's almost like having a second Barbarian King with his tanking ability. And when he gets half health, he rages, and he can really bust through the walls and free up some compartments, especially in other attacks when you don't have the Root Riders to open up the walls. So yeah, entire core of the base is gone, just working around on the outside, has the BK in front of the AQ, and just tanking, distracting for the AQ. Has a snake bracelet on the BK for the distractions, and the base is absolutely wrecked. Didn't need to use those spells, probably didn't need to use any of the abilities, so awesome hit to Ronnie. It was really fun to watch that planning. So here we have Eve MAXI. Yes, the real Eve MAXI. And he's coming in with a Root Rider attack. He's got the haste vial on the RC, so he'll be using that haste here soon. Nice little spear walk, creating some funneling. Taking out the Expo, Inferno Tower. This entire 12 o'clock compartment. Recalling. And it's nice to recall early when you can to keep your Fox alive. A lot of times it's really tempting to keep on using the invisibility spells and try to get as many defenses as possible, but the Fox being alive in the middle of the raid is worth probably 3 defenses. So go ahead and recall that RC and Spear Fox early. So now look at this nice pathing he's created. He's got an Ice Golem to tank out in front of his AQ. Got all the buildings here at 3 o'clock destroyed, forcing the Root Riders to go in towards this Town Hall section. Nice little rage. And notice how the rage stays right over top of the healers, so the healers can really get everything back to health. Town Hall's about to go down. Now he's got all the Root Riders here tanking for his AQ. AQ's got Frosty, helping freeze up some of these remaining defenses. Town Hall stayed up a long time, surprisingly. But luckily a Minion Prince is there. Uses the Dark Orb, freezes up everything, especially this Fire Spitter. He's got P.E.K.K.A still alive down here at 6, helping tank for his AQ. Pushing through the base, RC's taking out this last Inferno Tower. And he had Healer Puppet on his AQ for extra healers, and they're definitely helping. Notice these P.E.K.K.A s are still alive from the Siege Barracks and still almost full health. So they'll help tank this Expo, and the Scattershot and the Ricochet Cannon are really the only threats remaining in the base. But yeah, completely wrecked. Awesome hit to Eve MAXI. It's really fun having him in the clan. Tribe's always been one of my favorite teams, along with Navi and Clash Champs and whatever team Cynthi's on. And even back to Dark Looters, they were always really fun to watch with MAXI, Itsu, all those guys. So yeah, awesome hit, Eve MAXI, well done. Alright, so here we have Ninja, and he's in our second C1 clan, and he's coming in with some Super Miners. And he's got 11 invis, he's going to create some really nice pathing for these Super Miners, and he wants to take out one of these Fire Spitters, because he needs the healers to keep these Super Miners alive, and by taking out one Fire Spitter, then he can come in behind the remaining Fire Spitter. So he's working into the base, using this nice little Spear Walk. He's going to drop another Invis to force his RC towards the Fire Spitter soon. Taking out the Bomb Tower, Expo. I believe he's going to put the remaining Invis over that merged, right over the merged Archer Tower. Now he doesn't have to deal with enemy BK or enemy Minion Prince, so that was really great base recognition. Working in, taking out this Fire Spitter. Going to take out this new merged Cannon Tower. Works in, takes out this air defense. Still going, just pathed right around the enemy heroes, which is pretty awesome. And now he can come in behind the remaining Fire Spitter and absolutely wreck this base. Super Miners in, healers down, loons to test for traps, got Minion Prince in behind so he can freeze up some defenses, creating some funneling with his AQ and Siege Barracks. Down here at the right, I believe he's got Rage Vial and Eternal Tome on the Warden. Minion Prince steps up. Minion Prince gets a little bit ahead of the army. That's alright. He just uses the Dark Orb, freezes up this entire section. It's kind of crazy how wide the Dark Orb can be, because he actually got the Town Hall with that too. So really OP Dark Orb ability. Now he's got the RC back in. RC is direct targeting this Town Hall. Perfect pathing for that. And yeah, this base is absolutely wrecked. Awesome hit to Ninja. It's always fun watching these attacks, and thanks for doing them. Got a Wizard down here at 3, the opposite corner of where he started, just to further create some pathing for his Super Miners. He's got Diggy stunning up that Monolith, and yeah, base is gone. Minion Prince finally goes to Phoenix. Base destroyed. Giant on the AQ, extra tanking. Giant is OP. I would be using Giant in as many army comps as you can. And if you don't have it, try to max the Giant as soon as possible. Alright, thanks for watching guys, and see you guys with the next episode. Bye.